Hello, this is a recording of a webinar that took place in November 2019, and I'm going to be talking about I'm giving you an introduction to Careerpilot. My name's Sue Lewis and I head up the Careerpilot team. I'm based at the University of Bath. So Careerpilot is a completely free website, and the reason it's free is because it's co-funded by 20 universities and 6 NCOP projects. So it's free to all the schools in the south of England. If you're outside of our region, you can pay a small subscription annually, and then the site can be available to your students too. So in this session, I'm going to talk about how Careerpilot can help students become career ready, which is what we want, how the site can be used in an embedded way right across all levels of the school and college, how then if you're embedding Careerpilot, you're helping to meet the Gatsby benchmarks, but also to tell you where you can find free resources in our advisor zone. So just to explain a little bit about Careerpilot. Careerpilot's a whole suite of resources. We have the student zone and then a reporting zone, which is where you can see the choices young people are making. We also have the advisor zone, which has got lesson plans, materials, and a parent zone as well. We're also part of a Careers and Enterprise Company national project, which is related to Gatsby 8, and we're developing a whole school approach to delivering personal guidance, and that project is going in 6 schools. We are an award-winning website. In 2018 won the CDI award for an employability and careers website. So all the things that we have in Careerpilot will help you when you're putting together a stable careers programme, because there's things for all your groups that you can actually use as part of putting your stable careers program together. So embedding Careerpilot can be a key part of all the things you're delivering as part of your careers guidance program, and it can contribute to what's called personal guidance, which is Gatsby 8. It can be used right across all the different roles and people that might be engaged with careers, like students obviously and parents, but also there's things inside for tutors who might be delivering, PSHE staff. It can be a key tool supporting the role of the careers leader, helps subject teachers deliver their power to Gatsby, and can contribute to personal guidance. So Careerpilot can be the centre of what you're doing as a school for careers guidance. We have mapped Careerpilot to the Gatsby benchmarks, and we will send that out to you after the webinar or on request. As we go through, I'll show you how Careerpilot can contribute to some aspects of Gatsby too. Now, this is an interesting bit of research from the Careers and Enterprise Company, because I think in schools we're always trying to argue the case for why careers is so important. But obviously that's tricky when teachers may be thinking about the grades of students. And this research shows the impact of careers interventions on GCSE performance. So they used a randomised controlled trial with year 11, and some students had careers interventions before their GCSEs and some didn't. And the ones that did had a significant rise in terms of their motivation and their academic attainment as well, and that had a particular impact on the low achievers and less engaged. So these things are really useful for us to use in schools to win the argument for careers being an important thing. So we want to meet Gatsby, but mainly we want students to be careers ready, because we know there's lots of different jobs that they're going to have to think about in the future, and some careers will go, some will come, so they need to kind of be able to think about how they manage their careers at those key decision points. To help them with that, we've developed a video. It's an animated video, it's about 3 minutes long, and that actually helps students understand the key things that they can do to manage their careers. And this was developed through our Careers and Enterprise Company project. We're about to release it to all schools now so they can use it as part of their work. I'm not going to show you the video right now, but what it does pull out is 4 key things the students can do: know themselves, do stuff, which is like build your CV, know all your options, and use your supporters, including careers advisors and Careerpilot. So our message to students is, you start now with those things, and that helps you to feel confident to manage all the different processes you might have to engage with as you progress through your career. So this is Careerpilot. We have lots of information about all the different pathways, all in one particular place. It does link off to other websites that are free and good quality. So we do curate on behalf of young people all the sites out there that could help them. But if the students log in here, they can sign in or register, then they can get access to our career tools. And this is where they can personalise their choices and build their report. So they can see their full report, but you can also see the choices they're making in the reporting zone. So these things are all linked. They need to be registered, signed in, and that creates data in your reporting zone. To register, they just go to the top page of the top part of the home page. This is the form they have to fill in. They put themselves in your school and into a year group. And then if you've got access to reporting zone, you'll be able to see all the students who've assigned themselves to your school. So some of the highlights of Careerpilot. In our top bar, we've got well-used tools, the ones that people really like and use a lot. Jobs, where you can find job profiles of 800 jobs, courses, a course search, provider search, qualification planner, and over 1,000 video stories in the site, all tagged into different parts of the site anyway. We're also trying to encourage students to go through this process of career planning, starting with themselves, exploring their options, plan their next steps. So all our resources are structured under those particular headings. Or they might already know they want to do a particular qualification, and there'll be lots of information and advice about the pathway they might be exploring further. So if, for example, they chose A-level, there'd be video stories that relate to that topic. There'll be a summary of what they're going to read as they go on down the page. But they can also bookmark. So this is the idea that they're logged in when they're using the site and they tag in the things that they like the look of. And these will all be recorded in their career tools. So the first stage of the site is Start With You. So here we've got activities for different ages. We've got some quizzes to help them get started. They could start with a subject and see where that might lead, or do one of our skills maps. We've got a pre-16 version and a post-16 version. So exploring the student area by age, if they clicked on activities from my age, there's 4 or 5 activities that we suggest they do depending on their age and stage. So if they clicked on year 8, there'll be 5 little introductory activities, help them understand more about jobs generally. But there's one for every year group. And to help you as a teacher, we've actually put together presentations that integrate these activities as part of a 1-hour IT session. So there's an introduction, get the students online, they do the activities that we suggested, and then there's a little plenary at the end. And they're all in our advisor zone. So from that Start With You section, we've got the job sector quiz, 50 pictures of things you might like to do in a work situation. They can tag as many as they want to. And then what it does is tell them which sectors they could explore further that seem to fit with the things they're interested in. So we're not telling them what jobs to do, because jobs change. We tell them what sectors to explore further. We've also got the skills map, and this is there to help children realise they already have an awful lot of skills. Sometimes they're just not recognising them. So we ask them questions about what they've done in their life or their learning, or sometimes work if it's post-16. Things like, I've committed to an out-of-school sport or activity for more than a year. And then, depending on what they tick, we tell them what skills they've probably been using. So if you did commit to a sport for more than a year, then you've used physical skills, resilience, teamwork. And those skills are then put in our skills bank. So they've got a record of any of their skills from the quiz. And they can also add their own examples. So we encourage them to think of things they've done. Like, I've been working with my dad doing wedding photography. Well, what skills has it given you? And then the skills that are identified would be added to the skills bank. So the idea is they keep building this up through their key stage, and it's there to help them with the applications as they move on. We use this a lot with Year 12 to help them put personal statements together. And of course, if they've done something related to Gatsby, like they've had an encounter with an employer or FE, HE, or a work experience, then go in after that and record that in their skills map. So in terms of Gatsby 4, helping subject teachers link curriculum learning to careers, This is in the site too, so students can use this independently, but it'd be really good if a subject teacher, even just once a year, once a term, could actually show their subject, computing for example, and what they'll find then is example jobs, degrees, apprenticeships, vocational courses at college that would actually relate to that particular subject. So it could be a good kind of conversation within the classroom. We also show them online courses that are offered free by all the universities, quite nice accessible courses, 2 to 6 weeks. You can sign up for them, they are free to complete. Sometimes you have to pay if you want a certificate, but they are topic based and good ways for especially year 12 to beef up their knowledge, but also look really good new personal statement. So the second stage of Careerpilot is where we're asking students to explore their options. So they can do that by key stage, like choices of 14, 16, 18. They can explore qualification pathways, search for jobs, courses. We have apprenticeship vacancies on the site, look for providers, or look at our qualification planner. I'll just show you a few of those. So in terms of Gatsby 2, learning from careers and labour market information, we have our job sectors. So students can put in a job they're interested in, or go to a sector, or drill down to an actual job. And for the job, they'll find, it'll explain what they can do in that job, entry requirements, there'll be video stories about that job. And on the pink bit, they can see the skills the job requires and see their own skills from the skills map alongside it. And they could, at this point, add examples so they can align their skills nearer to the job they're interested in. So, but also labour market information. Is this job predicted to grow? What's the salary? And at the bottom, employment by region shows where the jobs are across the country. Also the course search. You can search for courses for 16 to 19-year-olds, find degree courses or apprenticeship vacancies. So the degree courses, I've just put an aerospace engineer, but there's a little drop down to give you ideas about what you might choose. Say how far you're prepared to travel from a postcode, and then you get a short list, including the UCAS point range required for that course if we have that information. They get some data about that course, employment after the course, student satisfaction, those sort of things. And you will see there it says add this to my courses, so they can keep adding any part of Careerpilot to their own career tools. And what that does then is build a report, as I mentioned earlier. Just a few other things. We use this a lot with students. The qualification planner enables students to say what they're doing now, so they might be doing their GCSEs, but also what they're considering for the future, so they can plot their route up through the qualification ladder. And so they can see there's a range of different pathways they can choose that are all going to end up potentially in higher education if they choose to go that far. If they've tagged things on the qualification planner, they can then start adding their predicted natural grades. And the idea is they go in every year and they change that as they become more sophisticated in terms of their own plans for their future career. You know, they're going back in every year saying, I was going to be a footballer, but I'm thinking of something else now. So they can housekeep their area of Careerpilot. Find a provider is a way to find providers in our geographical area. Then the final bit is plan your next steps. So here we're trying to help them think, okay, how do I use my report, my skills map to apply or prepare for application. We have a new little tool here where they can also action plan. So they can set themselves action points and they can record when they've achieved them. I mentioned the career tools quite a bit. So this is this area. So if they've actually been tagging things as they go, they'll have a full report, which really helps to meet the individual needs of pupils because you can see what they're particularly interested in. And also it's a great thing for preparing for personal guidance, because if the personal guidance advisor has all this information, that really helps them to get started much quicker with the student. That's the rest of the report. So the advisor too can write their comments straight onto the site, and that would be visible to the students. And that report moves up every year. So just to explain that if you've got a login, and we can give you a sample login from my training school as a school administrator, what you'll end up with is your own reporting zone, which looks like this. If you request access to the reporting zone and complete a date sharing agreement. But once you're in that and you've got your password, you'll know because your name will be at the top. But you can then toggle between the reporting zone and the student site. Just by clicking on the student site, you can open that up. And then if you go to just below your name, there's a little arrow going down. If you click on admin, you're back in. So just to show you how you can move between the two sites when you have got a staff login. So I mentioned the advisor zone earlier. This is where we keep all our resources, lots of free resources to help teachers deliver. Got resources for different key stages, resources for subjects teachers to use, and LMI resources too. Free resources you can request, including access to reporting zone and training. We're also now offering the Level 6 Diploma in Careers Guidance, which you do have to pay for, but if you're interested, there's information in this tile. What you'll find, the sort of things you'll find in the advisor zone is our progressive programme suggesting different activities to different year groups, which fits with the student entry point to activities for their age from the main site. We've got 5-week PSHE programmes for every year group with all the resources. And the pink one, they're 20-minute activities, you don't require a computer, you could do in teacher time, they're all related to careers. So you might find those useful too. And new for this year, to help with Gatsby 4, linking curriculum learning to careers, we've put together some 20-minute activities that a subject teacher could deliver that relate to a particular topic they happen to deliver as part of the curriculum. So this is for biology related to the biotech industry, and it actually specifies which part of the awarding body standards this fits with. And then we've suggested videos or TED Talks or other links that would help to expand young people's knowledge of that subject and relate it to a career. So we have 5 of these that are freely available on the website, all STEM ones. But we've got 23 Key Stage 4 subjects, and we're looking at doing the same for Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 5. And we're looking at there being a small charge for people to access these additional resources. But we'd love to have feedback. So if you're prepared to give us some feedback, we'd be happy to let you have a look at the resources. We're also exploring whether it's useful to teachers to have a whole lesson plan, like a 1-hour maths lesson you can deliver to a foundation group or an highly academic group. So those are available for pilot as well. So be interested to see what you think of those. So we also have a site for parents and carers. I mean, they love the main site, so do definitely tell them about that. But they do often want to ask questions about a particular thing they're not sure of. So that through the Parents Zone, we've got answers to questions they might like to know. So under each of the sections, there'll be some pertinent questions. This choices are 18. What funding support is available for a course at college? What would a university offer and should my child go? And we try to kind of explain the key points and then lead them off to other information if they want to know more. You can also use Careerpilot to deliver personal guidance. This is a model we've been using a lot, and that is that we give everybody a 1-hour Careerpilot workshop session, which is appropriate for their age and stage. So if it's year 10, it might be related to work experience, or year 11 related to post-16 options. And then that information is there for the guidance advisor to start off the conversation. During the guidance session, we can be helping the students bookmark anything they're interested in. The report about the guidance and actions can be written straight onto the site, and then all that information is there to be followed up by the tutor, head of 6, to just make sure the students are still on course. This is a reporting zone, so when you've got access, you'll have one which calls with the name of your school or college. It's only got 4 things. All your users that have actually assigned themselves to your school, you'll be able to see there. You can then subdivide them to other groups, so if you wanted to put them into tutor groups, you could do that in school groups. You can also see reports then by groups, any groups you've set, or year groups, or by individuals. I'm just going to show you a few of those. So you could set a homework task related to Careerpilot, and in the tasks completed report, you can see who's done what. You can also see their full report from here as well. You can also look at job sectors, what job sectors they're interested in. So that might help you with Gatsby, meeting individual needs, finding out what young people are interested in. And also if you have got an employee encounter, and you know there's particular students who are interested in law or whatever the encounter is, you could actually target those people. And these reports are downloadable, so you could play with them in a spreadsheet. In reports by individual, you can see everything to do with that individual, but you can also add things like action points, advisor comments, and that's visible to the student too. We're also always trying to develop things that we think might be useful to you and help you with your role. And Help Gatsby 2, which is linked to labour market information, we put together 30 hot jobs, and you can request a download of these, and they're in different formats, like a social media format where you can put them into newsletters for parents, because you should be telling parents about labour market information. So some schools now are doing job of the week and putting these into their newsletters. You can download them as posters, or you could put, there's a version for information boards within school as well. And these are all jobs that are predicted to grow. We also offer free training, face-to-face if it's 1 hour from our base in Bath, otherwise by webinar. We offer a whole range of webinars, including some for careers leaders, which happen every term. We can also do a 1 hour consultation directly with a careers leader, either by webinar or we'll come to you. Staff training, we can train your whole staff team. We've done it by webinar to over 100 staff in this sort of format, and we can get them to do activities as part of the session too. So it's not just a dry delivery, there is quite a lot of opportunity to run a proper training session, and any other webinars you might be interested in. So you can tell us what you would like, and all that you can apply for through the Advisor Zone. You become a super user. To do that, you have to hit 4 of the 5 criteria here, and if you do that, you'll get a certificate, become one of our super users, and you get access to additional resources. We get lots of positive feedback about the site from students. They really do not know their options, and they love finding out about things to do with their futures and also about different jobs. Through a recent research project, we were asking what they found most useful, and they do really like having this Careerpilot account, being able to see a report, being able to bookmark, and also the jobs sectors always comes up as the most useful thing. So at this stage in the webinar, I would ask whether you had any questions, but if you do have any questions, then you can get in touch via our helpline, which is careerpilot@bath.ac.uk. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm just going to stop there. My name's Sue Lewis. You can get in touch with me through our helpline address, careerpilot